This episode of the Focus Action Results podcast is brought to you by Accelerate Performance, creators of the Focus Action Results course and the FAR Planner. Welcome to the podcast that promises you'll be much more productive with me, your host, Ralph Varcoe. Well, hello again and welcome everybody to this, the 11th episode. Yes, 11th. We've made it to legs 11, or Roman numeral 2. But welcome to this 11th episode of the Focus Action Results podcast. And today we're going to talk about pasta. That's right, you heard it correctly. We're going to talk about pasta. Now, this is not a food program, although delicious though it all may be. I'm now dreaming about pasta parcels. They're like pillows you can get lost in. Oh, very nice. But enough of my fantasies. We are going to talk about pasta in relation to how to get your message across. Now, there are tons of frameworks that are out there. I mean, literally tons. If you just go onto websites like Copy Hackers and you look at their ultimate guide to copywriting, you'll see that there are about 100 different ways in which you can get your message across. And you're never going to remember all of them, and you can't use all of them simply because there are just too many. And in fact, you just don't need to. You just need to look at and think about a couple of key principles when you're trying to get your message across. So why is this relevant to taking action and focus and the subject of this podcast? Well, it's all about communicating, right? So if you're going to focus on the project that you have, if you're going to look to achieve the things that you want to, then you're going to need to be clear, particularly if you're in a business setting, or even if you're in a setting where you've got a goal, but you need to persuade other people that this is something that you should be sponsored for. If you're raising money, for example, running for charity. So at the moment I'm running to raise money for Prostate Cancer UK. I'm running 100 miles in a month, and I'm bloody tired. It's now, the 22nd of January as I'm recording this, and I've done 65 miles so far. Only another 35 to go in 9 days. But I have to go through a process of trying to raise the money, because I pledged to do that for Prostate Cancer UK, and I've raised something like 770 odd pounds so far. I've got a target of 1,000. Now, people have got a limited amount of money that they want to or can afford to spend on sponsoring people, and you're probably the same as me. You get a ton of people coming and asking you for sponsorship money because they're doing amazing things during the year, and you just don't have enough money to go around to everybody, even though you'd like to. So if you're going to be able to attract people to actually give some of their hard-earned cash to your cause, you need to be pretty persuasive that this is something that resonates with them, that they want to support you, and therefore you want to be able to put your message together in a way that resonates with them. Now, think about it from a business context as well. So you're trying to sell your products or services. You may have a website. You may put together a brochure. You certainly need to talk to people about the things that you have on offer in order for them to say, do you know what? Yep. Yours looks like the kind of thing that we, first of all, need, and then secondly, is going to provide us with the value that we are prepared to pay for it. So you need to be relatively persuasive. You need to make sure that they've got and they're going to get what they need, and you want to make sure you put your best foot forward and show them what that is. So how do you do that? One approach is to just simply say, I'm raising money for charity. I'd like you to sponsor me. Please sponsor me. It's an approach, and there are some people that will do that just on the basis of the fact that you're a family member or a friend, and they kind of go, do you know what? Yeah, Ralph's a good chap, so I'll bang in 20 quid. I know he'll do it, and that's okay. But there are others that won't do that, and you need to be a little bit more subtle. You need to be a bit more persuasive. So, as I say, lots of ways of putting your message across there. Now, if anyone's ever read any marketing books, you'll know that they talk about this AIDA concept of attention, interest, desire, and action. Now, this is a part process. The first one of which is literally to grab their attention. You want to do something that wakes them up and shakes them up and gets them out of the kind of thinking pattern they're in, or their just standard normal life, and gets them to go, oh, hang on a second, what's all this about then? Then you need to make sure they become interested in it. So engage with them in some way. It could be a bit of an unusual way, it could be counterintuitive, but what you're trying to do is to get them to go, okay, yeah, now that sparked an interest in me, fine. I'm going to read a little bit more, or I'm happy to listen for a little bit longer. And then you go to the D, the desire section. So you want them to then be looking at it going, actually, do you know, yes, I want this. I need it. I like it. It is great. This matches what I've been looking for. Or it's nice and bright and shiny. And I kind of, yeah. And then, of course, last point, because there is no point in doing any of those unless you're driving somebody towards action. And that's the last A of AIDA, which is to take action. You want them to take the next step. And that next step is to buy it or to donate the money. So that's a fairly standard business school marketing approach where you are trying to engage with them. Now, by the way, all of these copywriting or persuasion or storytelling processes all have some kind of an acronym, some of which have been turned into a word, which is a proper acronym like AIDA or PASTA, and others are just a string of letters that, to be honest, you need a PhD to be able to remember what the string of letters is, let alone what it means, and they're just a little bit too complicated. Now, if you're a professional copywriter, fine, go ahead, learn them all. But if you're wanting to focus on achieving some good persuasive success in what you're trying to do, just remember a couple of really simple ones. Now, going back to AIDA, you can look at adverts and you can check it out. Every time you see an advert, just look at it and go, well, did it attract my attention first of all? Has it created some kind of interest? Do I want to read more? Is there a desire and is there an action? Now, I see quite a lot of adverts and I look at it and I go, well, yeah, you've attracted my attention, you've created some interest, and you've given a call to action. So take a free trial or do this, buy now. But I'm sitting there going, I just don't know why I'd want it. You've created no desire in me. It's a little bit like stating, I've got the best software. It's used by God knows how many people, take a free trial. Okay, why? What's it going to do for me? The bit that's missing there is the value to me as the user. I've got no idea why I'd want it. So frankly, I'm not even going to bother with a free trial. Why would I waste my time? Take a look at an organization like Apple. You go onto their website, it's beautiful, our achingly beautiful design of simplicity of the products themselves. But if you go on there is a lesson in copywriting. What they are doing is they are grabbing your attention because they've got some fabulous pictures of the latest new device that you kind of think, nice one. It then goes on and creates interest in, what does it do? What does it make you feel like? And then the desire, I've already got 2 iPads, but I need this one. I've got to have this one. Yeah, I know I've got 2, but those are the old models. I need this one because this is the new one. They managed to create an incredible amount of desire. And all of that happens, and then right at the bottom of the page, it says, buy now. And there's your call to action, because by the time you've got down there, you've kind of gone, oh yeah, I can't really afford, it's quite expensive, but I need it, because it's just like, And so you go down and you click on it and you buy it. So if you want to check out and see how Apple does it, have a look at their website, because it's brilliant. Now, there are lots of other versions of this that you can basically look at, various different acronyms around this, but I like to think about PASTA. Oh, do you know what? It is 7:43 in the morning. and I'm already hungry. I'm just going to have to wait till lunchtime. Pasta, right, what does that mean? So this is problem, first of all, then agitation, then you want to provide a solution, then a testimonial, and then action. Now you'll see various examples of this. People talk about the PAS framework, and that's basically just the problem, the agitation, and the solution. I'm taking it one stage further, partly because it then spells pasta rather than just PAS, and it's easier to remember pasta, but also because it adds in the social proof, the testimonial, customers that are buying it, customers that are finding value from it. That's the testimonial bit. And then the call to action. If you just do PAS, and you do problem, agitation, solution, and you're missing out on the, now this is what I want you to do about it. I want you to click here so that you're going to buy it or you're going to donate. So that's why I like pasta. And let's just go through it one stage at a time. So the first one is problem. So you want to state the problem, and this isn't a sort of made up problem. This is a problem that your customer has. So you need to know, before you put this together, what is the problem that they have? What's the problem that you're solving? What's the problem that if they buy your stuff or they donate to your cause, that you are solving for them? Now take, for example, I mean, it's easy, right? If you've got a business and you sell a widget, and that widget enables you to be much quicker at, I don't know, automating your washing up. Oh yeah, actually that's called a dishwasher. They've got those. You can go and buy those, right? So you sell a dishwasher, right? That makes it simpler, quicker, easier to get your washing up done. Funnily enough, even when it's when the washing up has been done in the dishwasher, I don't know why, but it seems that the kids are totally averse or just oblivious to the fact that it needs to be emptied every morning. Same story, always me, but hey ho. Anyway, you sell this, and you can say, look, here's a problem that you have. The problem is that the dishes pile up on the side. It takes time for you to wash them. You don't have an endless supply of dishes. You want clean crockery to eat off. You want to make sure that your house is clean and tidy. So having an automated machine, a dishwasher, to do this is going to solve a number of problems for you. So it's easy enough if you've got something that you sell to be able to do that. If it's trying to raise money for charity, as an example, my example of the Prostate Cancer UK fundraising, well, you want to basically state what the problem is, and that problem is, and I'm appealing to mostly men here, or women who have men in their lives who they love, like their fathers or their husbands or boyfriends, etc. This is appealing to them by saying, look, one man every 45 minutes in the UK dies from prostate cancer. So actually donating to this, to me thrashing myself up and down the streets in the freezing cold and the miserable rain, is worth it, because you are helping to find new ways of treating the disease so that your loved ones and their loved ones don't have this problem, because it can be cured. So you're trying to state what the problem is. That means that you can show that you empathise. You go, yeah, look, I know, there's this problem, and it's terrible, right? The next bit, though, is that you need to agitate it. So just stating that there's a problem isn't quite enough, right? There's a problem. Dishes build up on the side of, by the sink. Okay, yeah, it's a problem. What does that mean? Agitate it. And that's awful because of X, of Y, of Z. The dishes begin to smell. They build up. They look unsightly. You're going to get nagged to get them cleaned. Whatever it happens to be, agitate it. Make it something that the person who's reading it and goes, yeah, I recognise that that's a problem, is going to go, yeah, actually, not a nice problem to have, right? And I'm using a bit of a facile example in terms of, washing up. But, most households that are large enough, that have a large enough family and that can afford it, will have a dishwasher because it's a problem that you just don't want to have. It's just easy to be able to have one of those. But there are lots of other examples you'll be able to think of. So you state what the problem is, then you agitate it and go, this is why it's a really big problem. Okay. But you can't just leave somebody there. You need to then go, I've got a solution for that. Let me tell you about my solution. This is what the solution does. You load it up, you put a block of soap in it, or detergent in it, and then you switch it on, and an hour later everything is gleaming, glistening. It's the cleanest it's ever been, and it's just amazing because wow, right? So there's the solution for you. You know, for a relatively small investment up front, you get, well, just like years of use out of it, and years of, you know, uncluttered surfaces, right, and the cleanest crockery around. So here's your solution, and that solution comes in this shape and this size and this price range, and you want this solution. Now, if you leave somebody there and you don't do a call to action, it's going to be interesting. You've caught their attention, you've made them interested, you've even given them some of the desire, but there's no call to action. Now, I think that the strongest call to action is not just after somebody's seen there's a problem and then gone, oh, look, there's a solution. But we're all sitting here going, yeah, I've got loads of options. You know, I could buy this dishwasher or that dishwasher. This one is a bit more expensive, but it says it does these extra things. That one's really cheap. Why do I need an expensive one? You've got options, lots of them. Just like you've got options, you know, as to where you put your money if you're going to be donating to a friend's cause for charity. Lots of options. So the best thing to do is to give some kind of a testimonial. So that's the T in pasta. Give that testimonial, right? That means a genuine customer or customers, users of your solution that have had their problems fixed. And you want to make sure that it's really clear that people have got benefit from it. You know, why is it that on Amazon you go through, you look at it, you see there's a product that I want. I've got 3 options here. I can go for this first one here. It's $5.99, but it's only got 3 people that have given it a rating, and it's only got a 2.5 stars out of 5. Or this one is $12.99, but it's got 7,000 ratings and it's 4.5 stars. You're going to look at it and go, I know it's almost double, but do you know what? I'm going to go with that one because so many people have used it. So many people have said it's a good thing and that it works, and it's 4.5 stars out of 5. So I'm going to take that one, right? So give it a testimonial. And what does a testimonial do? It provides social proof. Social proof is such a fundamentally important part of the art of persuasion, right? You get influenced by the fact that so many people have said so many good things about it. Of course you do, because you know there is proof, there is validation in that. So that's the T in pasta. So state the problem, agitate it, make it come alive for the person that you're talking to about the sort of problem that they would have. Tell them what the solution is. Tell them all the great things about your solution. You know, toot your horn, blow your trumpet about all the good things that your solution offers, what the value that your solution offers to them. Now, here's a really important thing. It's not value that you think is value. It's not value to you. It's value to them. How would they define the value, right? So you could go, oh, this is really valuable because it's got these features. Now, if they don't use any of those features, it's not a value to them. So you have to think about what would the customer define as value, right? So once you've done that, you then give the testimonial. Make sure that it's really clear. This is why you'd buy it, because these people have and they've been super happy. And then the all-important call to action. You've got to give them a way to take action to either find out more or buy it straight away. So give them an offer. Give them an easy way to click through to join your newsletter. Give them an easy way to take a pilot, a free trial. Give them a way to buy it immediately, right? So that's if you're selling something, if you've got a service that you're putting out there. Now, if it's the case of you're raising money for charity, right? If I were to talk to, friends or family and just go, I'm raising money for charity and this is why, and, here's the problem. There's like one man in the UK dies every 45 minutes and it's terrible, which it absolutely is. And this could affect your dad. Oh, it did affect your dad. Yeah, it's there you go. I'm agitating it, right? So here's the solution. I'm going to be raising money for Prostate Cancer UK, and therefore there are going to be new treatments and new ways of having palliative care and other sorts of things to make it just a better world in the future. Your dad had it, and I've got friends who've had it as well. They had amazing care and treatment. That's the testimonial piece. And then the call to action, right? If I just leave it there and I don't send them the link and I don't send them the ability to easily pay through PayPal or through, Virgin Giving or whatever the best medium is, then they're going to go, oh yeah, well, that's great. I recognise that Ralph's doing that. It's amazing. But you haven't given them an opportunity to take action. And, the only reason you're doing this and you're running 100 miles and you're pounding and killing your knees and your ankles through the mud and all of that sort of stuff is because you are trying to raise money. It just seems a shame not to provide somebody with an easy way to be able to donate that money. So in all situations, you want to make sure you finish with a very clear call to action. Right, so that's the PASTA method. There are just countless others. There's another one that I quite like, which effectively it's a story framework, which is you start with the heart. Right, you pull at the heartstrings. This is essentially the same as stating what a problem is and agitating that. You appeal to somebody's emotions, right? Then you go from the heart to the head, and the head is the logical bit. This is the solution. This is how you can fix it. Then it's H again, is the 4H framework, right? You've done the heart first. You've appealed to their emotions. Then the second one is the head, right, where you are appealing to the logic. This is the solution. Then it's the hands. That's the call to action. What are you going to do? What do you do with your hands? And then you go back to the last stage of this is going back to the heart. Right, finish it off by saying, and if you do that, if you take that action, right, now go back and connect with the emotion of it. So you can do that as well. So I quite like the 4H framework of heart, head, hands and heart. But my main go-to, if ever I'm writing something or I'm talking to somebody about something, I'm positioning value, I'm wanting to make sure that somebody understands it, can see the value of it and then takes action, I will always go to the PASTA framework. Well, hopefully that's been useful. And if it has, I'll be very glad if you provide any comments or you just make sure people know about this podcast and the video that's on YouTube that accompanies it. And the next time we have an episode, we're actually going to be talking about the thing that accompanies pasta really well, and that is tomato sauce. That's right, we're going to stay on the food theme and we're going to talk about tomatoes or pomodoros, the Pomodoro technique. So join us next time for the next episode of the Focus Action Results podcast, where we will be talking about tomatoes. I hope that was helpful for you today and you enjoyed listening to the Focus Action Results podcast. If it was either helpful or enjoyable, or heaven forbid both, please subscribe, leave feedback, share with friends and family, and tweet it loud with the hashtag Focus Action Results podcast.